So you know you've wanted to be awesome at homecoming. Tonight's your night to find out how to do it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Industry Chat. Tonight, we have got a special guest. I have the one and only Arnoldo Offermann here with me. Good evening, Arnoldo.
Good evening, John. How are you doing?
Doing well. I'm glad you can join me because tonight's topic is right in your wheelhouse. I mean, I don't think we could get more in your wheelhouse unless it was talking about school dances and cameras while driving around and cats around Orlando.
Mm-hmm. We could combine it, you know.
We've seen the videos of those. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a topic that, of course, is near and dear to Arnoldo. He has master school dances, and he does a lot of consulting and teaching in that school dance arena. And I wanted him to do something that was kind of timely for us with homecoming season coming up. So tonight, Arnoldo, you've got 5 tips for homecoming 2015 for the DJs out there, correct?
Yes.
Nice.
And it may turn into 6 because I can't count. I'm from Florida.
But that could be the baker's half. No, wait a second. No, that would have been 7 with 6.
I see Minnesota doesn't have that much better of a school system.
No, that would be so. Baker's half dozen would be that, and all that. We'll just go with we can't count on any way, shape, or form. So we have tips.
Exactly.
Tips for homecoming season. Arnoldo, let's get it started now. Tip number 5. What do you got for us?
So tip number 5 is if you're just starting now, it's too late and it's not. And this is something that I've been telling people. Honestly, the biggest advantage I have of my competitors, forget our awesome staff and equipment and the skills and all that aside. It's the fact that we actually get a hold of these schools ahead of time. You know, for example, my last season, I don't want to throw out numbers quite yet, but let's just say we're in the 6-digit figure for sure.
Uh-huh.
But we were in that 6-digit number for homecoming season by the time that the previous summer ended. Now, every school's a little bit, every county's a little bit different. And I always worry every year, my crap, I didn't make as much money as I'd like to make. And the first day of school, we have homecomings not even 2 weeks after, which is kind of crazy here.
Yeah.
So we have schools immediately contacting us, sometimes throughout the summer. I met with several schools throughout the summer, even the ones that are not having their homecomings till November. And then, of course, we get all last-minute schools, new clients, et cetera, at the beginning of the year. But if I just counted on that, I would only be making 40% of what I'm making now. So because I'm starting it, literally, as soon as prom season ends, I start contacting homecoming. I start contacting the SGA, the Student Government Association, or Student Council, depending on whatever your school calls it.
Right.
Because I want them, especially if their prom sucked, and I'm confident that if they didn't have us, there's something about their prom they didn't like. So I start contacting, knowing those feelings that, we didn't like this about prom or this about homecoming, I can immediately just get my foot in there. It's like, look, let me show you how you can make it better. So because of that, I'm able to do that. Not only that, but I have a good enough rapport with my clients that I can go ahead and contact them right after, they ask, hey, let's go ahead and sign that contract. Let's get everything taken care of. Because the first 2 or 3 weeks of the school year, I don't want to focus on existing clients. My existing clients should already be booked, ready to go.
Right.
I need to focus that on selling new clients. Otherwise, I'll never expand. Then after those 2 weeks, it's pretty much all production. I don't really have much time to sell. 4 schools only, we do quite a bit, but I'm still the one doing all the sales, all the production. I have a team, thank God for them, that handles the overall operations, renting the vehicles and all that. This is not something you can do solo. It's impossible. You need an accountant or a CFO. You need somebody to run operations. But as far as the sales, the marketing, and the putting the production together, hey, this is what we're going to do as far as the theme and lunch jams. I take care of all that. Wouldn't be possible without my team, but yeah, if you think you can just start at the beginning of the school year and contact schools and make money, you're going to make some money, but you're not going to make the money that you could be making, and that's where a lot of DJs are really dropping the ball.
For sure.
So that's tip number 5.
Tip number 5. It's not too late, but yet it's too late to start.
Yep. Now, here's where it goes into half a tip. Right now is also you should be selling proms. I've already sold, a decent number of proms. I've got about 12 on the book so far that I booked over the summer. The first couple of weeks of school, I don't focus too much. Now, school started for us last week of August.
Yep.
So we're just now in our 3rd week of school for most of our counties. And I don't really focus on prom too much. But you can bet that as soon as October hits, I'm going to start finishing up really booking out proms. I booked a lot of proms during the summer, and proms are easier than homecoming. Homecoming, we're at the mercy of the athletic administrator, whoever chooses the team. And It used to be the homecoming was to celebrate the football team, their last game. Now it's let's pick a week that we're going to play a school that sucks. That's essentially how most schools pick. So some schools don't know till the week prior. So with prom, it's easier because they can give you a date right then and there. And, I play the discount game. Hey, look, I can, give you a little bit better hookup if you get this week or this block a week. So homecoming, I'm at the mercy of the schools for the most part. Prom, they really work with me on the dates, and I can align everything where it's nice and even.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's tip 5 and 0.5.
Tip 5. Actually, we're going down. We're counting down. So it'd be tip 5 and tip 4.5. There we go. Okay, so now we're up to tip 4. Yeah. What is tip 4?
Tip 4 is you're appealing to the students either directly or by proxy. So I look at a lot of marketing, especially when I do consulting with other DJs, and I see the website. And first of all, they're usually the most god-awful websites. And look, if you don't know how to market to teens, don't try. And the easiest way to find out, especially if you have kids, is just be upfront and ask them, hey, am I cool enough, Dad, to appeal, or Mom or whatever, to appeal to these teenagers on a large scale? 9 out of 10, the answer, they're going to give you a very blunt answer. Tell them, it's not going to hurt your feelings or whatever. And if they tell you no, then you shouldn't be doing marketing for teens. But that doesn't mean you don't do the school dance game. You bring somebody that can do that can still connect with, the students. But that being said, when you meet with the administration and when you meet with the committee, this is what I really talk about in my video series. It's that you're doing a bipolar sales technique. While I'm appealing to the students and I want to get the students excited about prom, I continuously make references to what the administration is going to want, because I go to tip number 3, which I'll go in a second. If I'm meeting with just the administration, there are a few schools with the administration, or the student advisor or the sponsor or whatever you want to call it, they make that decision on behalf of the students. And I obviously still want to appeal, but I want to appeal to the students by proxy, meaning that this advisor wants to create something good for the students. Most of them. Some of them just couldn't care less. But in the back of their minds, they still know they got a lot of pressure of making sure all these teenagers are happy with the dance.
Yeah.
So when I sit down and I talk to them, it's like, look, this is what I can do, blah, 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 this and this and this, to make sure that the students are going to have a good time, to make sure we increase ticket sales, to make sure the administration stays off your back to make you look good. So we are appealing to the students, but by proxy of that advisor, because that advisor wants to be the hero. Whether they care about the dance, if you think, oh, this advisor doesn't care about the dance, they just want to book and that's it. That couldn't be further from the truth. So I do a lot of stuff with NASC and FASC. And every state has this. NASC stands for National Association of Student Council. These are the students that are basically in charge of making all these decisions. And I actually, while there was a production company handling that, I was in the lunchroom playing music, doing the dance, getting people hyped up. That's where I wanted to be, because that's where I really got to connect with these students one-on-one. Yeah. And I talked to students not just from the nation, but from all around the world. And they all essentially told me the same thing. It's like, look, this is what we don't like about our DJs, about our companies, etc. But they do more than just pick out the dances. These advisors are also in charge of helping possibly plan graduation, community projects. Maybe if the football field, this happened with one of the schools, the football field got condemned. So now they got to figure out, how can we raise money to basically let out a whole new football field? They've got a lot of pressure. It's not that they don't care about the dance. They do, because they're doing all this extra work and they're getting paid this much money for it.
Yeah.
So they do care. But they're tired of hearing the same crap from DJs every single time. And I've talked to some schools, and we're talking big money schools, that when I first met with them, they've already told me, look, we're very weary about telling DJs budgets because they've taken us for a ride. Yeah. I'm like, no, I totally know that. That's specifically why I targeted you guys, because I know what you have spent in dances before, and I know we can do a better product, because there's too many students complaining about the dance for the money that you're spending. Well, how do you know what the students are saying? Because of Twitter. Really, a little bit of work with Twitter, you can find everything out about every individual school dances and whatever the case may be. So they do care, but they're just tired of hearing the same stuff. Yeah. So we're coming in with a different approach, something fresh. It gets them excited. If we meet with the students, they get excited. The advisor's happy that the students are getting excited. Now that goes to the next part. Schools don't have money. Crap. Okay. And what I hate even worse is, well, schools don't even have the money to buy new computers, whatever the case may be. So they don't have money for dances. Yeah, that's really a bad thing. It is. There's definitely not any money going into the school system. But there are two different budgets. You've got your federal budget and you've got your student budget. Federal means this isn't a state to state. This is a national law. And, they have this much money they can spend. If they, just like any company, if they have any money left over, the next year gets budgeted to what they only spend. This is pretty much even across the board.
Yep.
But the students raise money. When these students put the fundraisers for, the SC, what I call the ASC. So if you're in, Minnesota, it would most likely be MASC, Minnesota Association of Student Councils,
Mm-hmm.
me, FASC, Florida Association, and so forth, right?
Yep.
So these students are putting all this money together. It's their decision. They vote. That's the whole point of student council and student government. They vote where that money goes. They can't have that money. The state can't say, well, listen, you guys raised $100,000. Great job. We're going to buy books for that. No, they cannot do that. That has to go towards student activities. That back in the day was called Glee Club and all that. This is a much bigger scale of things. And we're not talking just a few students here pretending they're a government. We're talking a national convention. Students actually voting with a president. It looks like a United Nations meeting. I'm telling you, DJs, if you ever have an ASC meeting around you, you have to go to it. It's the most impressive thing. It restored my faith in humanity, seeing how involved these students really are. But it is. And actually, that's pretty much the tip 3 right there. See, we transitioned to it.
Yes.
It's the students' money, but admin still signs the check. So while I'm still appealing to the students, I got to make sure administration is happy. Because while the students make that decision, and a lot of admins really hands off, we let the students make that final decision. A lot of times that decision is a bad idea because they're students. They get caught up. They're excited about the dance. Suddenly they want to spend $20,000 when they should only be spending $10,000.
Right.
Now me, with the way that I run things, I don't like taking advantage of my schools. My schools know that. I'll work with some of them, try to fit within their budget. I'll tell them, look, we could get this, but don't spend any more than what you've already spent. Let's substitute or whatever. You may have the money, but at the end of the day, I promise you're going to be happy with it. And it usually works out that way, especially with proms, because they don't realize we spend this much money X on hotel. Oh, but now you got to pay for the fire watch. You got to pay for electric. You got service fee. You got parking. All these little fees they didn't think about.
Yeah.
And this happens with anything, especially in the wedding business. It's even worse in the school dance business because a wedding, you have maybe 100, 200, 300 people. School dances, you could have up to 1,000 people, depending on the size of some of these schools. Yeah. So all those extra fees are exponentially larger. So I want to make sure the administration is really happy with the service, not just with the cost, but what we bring out, that there's a visual appeal to the show that when they walk in, they say, you know what, we definitely got what we paid for, because ultimately they have that final decision. They sign that check. But it's the students that vote next year where that check should be going to. So it really is, again, that bipolar sales technique. Hey, students, this is what we can do for you. Hey, administration, this is why you're going to like this option. So for example, things like live video. Live video has always been the one with the biggest amount of friction because we get some students, oh, we love live video. Then administration's like, oh, we really don't like live video because it shows students grinding. Yes, but that's the point. It shows students grinding. So we put the camera on them and they disperse just like roaches. When you turn on the light, just they go all over the place, right? So now you have a bird's eye view of what's going on at the dance floor. And the administration's like, huh. Every time something just never clicks. Like, you're right. And I had one that was very adamant. It's like, we just really want to have as much control of what's going on with the dance floor as possible. Totally get that. You can have the remote control. You can control the camera. If you don't want video screens, we can, if you see something you want on the video screens, I can put something else on there, but you can see it on a preview monitor. And the same thing goes for the students, well, we don't like videos, the live video because, we don't want to see ourselves grinding and all that. I'm like, that's kind of the point. Unfortunately, administration, if they see you guys grinding, they're going to tell me to change the music, which does nothing at all. Like the ones that tell me, hey, they're grinding. Can you play a slow song? Sure. We have a bunch of hormone rage students dancing right now in a Miley Cyrus angle. Let's put on a slow song. And this is a conversation I have with them every single time. Yep. And to this point, I don't have, I don't have an admin really telling me how to do my job because we really trust each other in that. But in that sense, I tell students, like, if the administration feels comfortable, they have control of what's going on the dance floor. They're not going to go out there with flashlights. First of all, that's not really a safest thing to do because they can get trampled the moment we play an EDM song. But at the same time, they're not going to come and harp me about the music because they have that comfort of knowing what's going on the floor. Yeah. And then the students are like, okay, that's a good idea. I'm like, Plus, now you guys can take the world's coolest selfie when we have a 56-foot video screen, and there you are, selfie. Where they're like, oh, that's a good idea. So now they get really excited about that. So again, every school is different. We have some that just universally hate live video. Fine, let's get rid of live video. Here's some other things that we can do. And a lot of the stuff that we sell, it's also to deter the number one complaint schools have, and that is dirty dancing. You know, I tell them up front, it's like, look, it's a give and take. You know, you're never going to get rid of dirty dancing. As a matter of fact, this has been a problem. This isn't anything new. You know, everybody talks about, oh, students today are dancing terrible. This has been a problem for so long, John, that there's at least 2 movies specifically about parents getting in an uppity fit about dancing. So why everybody's acting like this is something new? Well, twerking's a new thing. No, because when I was 14, so you're talking, almost 15 years ago, Whistle While You Twerk came out. So clearly, twerking's not a new thing. The wording isn't new. So I tell administration, so how do we get rid of it? You stop talking about it. It's called the water bottle theorem. If I get on the microphone, let's pretend this is my mic, right? Hey, guys, please make sure not to throw water bottles in the air. What's the first thing they're going to do?
Woo!
It could be a dance where there's no water bottles. One of these kids is going to leave the gym. They're going to drive over to 7-Eleven. They're going to get in the water bottle, come back, just do, yay. They're going to do that just to spite administration because that's what they do best.
Yep.
So heck, administration will spite administration, you know, for the heck of it. So at times, like, do not get in the microphone and tell them. Do not tell them you have to dance 3 inches apart because, first of all, most people can't even do math here in Florida, so we're certainly not going to expect them to grab a ruler. Well, how do you get them to stop? You just leave it alone. You let them dance. You let me control it. If I see they go past, and I say it like this, if I see them go past the Miley Cyrus angle, and they get a laugh out of that, but it's true. If I see them go past the Miley Cyrus angle, then we'll throw out some glow sticks. Why? Because if they have their hands up trying to catch glow sticks, they're not down in places where it shouldn't be. Now we're doing the high energy lights. Now we're doing the high energy music. They're jumping up and down. They get worn down. Bam, we go into a slow song. Then it goes back and forth. You know, for the most part, it's always worked for us. You know, there's a few schools where it doesn't work, but it doesn't work right away, but that's because they're used to having 4 hours of just straight 70 BPM music. So when you first do EDM, they're like, what is this? Okay, we like this, but we don't like this. You know, it's kind of like a mixed reaction. By the end of the night, they're like, oh my God, that was the best prom ever. You mean there's something out there besides Lil Wayne out there? So, you know, that's kind of like a two-way thing on that. But ultimately, once you really work with the admin and you get them excited about it, and you get the admin excited that the students are excited about that concept, that sale becomes pretty much a slam dunk. That was tip 2.5. So let's go to tip number.
Wait a second. What am I going to title 2.5 then? Sweet.
I don't know. I guess 2.5 is get crowd control. Sell them crowd control. Okay.
And I'm doing this because I want to label these so that way we can all follow along.
Oh, exactly.
A crowd control tip.
We can put like little titles, so like instead of like the more you know.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it be like just? And we'll just do that sound effect.
And could we like have a little cat walk it across the screen and then? Oh wait.
Yeah, or since Katy Perry just rode that giant rainbow, we could just have Katy Perry going across. And I think most DJs. Yeah, I think most DJs prefer Katy Perry going across the screen than me.
But rainbow, on. Okay, we're up to 2.
Number 2, you know, when it comes to weddings, everybody talks about, well, you know, you should be a great master of ceremonies. You shouldn't worry about the equipment. You should worry about the experience. You're mixing what blah blah blah. With schools, it's a big rig contest. We'll substitute rig for that other word, but that's exactly where I'm getting at. Look, I can take a mediocre DJ. My guys aren't mediocre, but I could take a mediocre DJ with an incredible setup, and suddenly it's an incredible event. Why? Because that's exactly what EDC is. Look, I'm just going to lay my opinion here. EDC are, for the most part, are a bunch of button pushers. But because we've got this kick-ass slideshow behind us, suddenly, oh my God, these guys are the greatest ever. Saturday Night Live made fun of that with the whole Da Vinci thing. I don't know if you guys saw that Saturday Night Live sketch. It was great. But it's basically that. It's that experience. You know, and I'm not saying the DJ is not important, but I tell my schools, look, my DJs are amazing. But more than just my DJs, my light techs are top notch. My light techs work just as hard, if not harder, than the DJ. Because the DJ is focused on the music and making sure the crowd's having a great time. My light tech's running the video, the lasers, a crap load of lights, and having to focus on the music too, so they know what's coming less, because we busk our shows, meaning we run everything live. And that's quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
But when somebody comes in with just a couple of, T-bars with a few lights, and I come in with, and I charge more money. I mean, I'm upfront. I'm like, look, guys, we charge a lot more. We're going to be probably the most expensive company you talk to. And if not, please let me know so I can, be more expensive. I'm never going to compete on pricing. I will work with you on pricing, but I'm not going to compete on pricing. I come in with my videos and I show them, look, this is what we can do. And I have an incredible promo video. I'm very proud of our promo video. Mm-hmm. And they're like, wow, we've never seen that before. Wow, this is way better. And I want them right at the very beginning of the meeting when I ask them, how was your homecoming last year or prom? What did you like? What did you not like? What did your DJ bring out? I specifically focus on that equipment. What did your DJ bring out?
Right.
Well, he had a disco ball and some strobes, or in some case, he had nothing. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
For a school dance.
Nothing?
Yeah.
It's like, really? And then I show him the video. I'm like, so how does this compare to last year? I've never had a school say, oh, last year's was better. Never. I was like, how does this compare to what you had last year? Oh, my God, that's incredible. We really liked that. That was exciting, whatever the case might be. And ask him right then and there. So how many guys are ready to rock with the best? I mean, that's their slogan. Are you ready to rock with the best?
Right.
And they're like, well, all of us. Okay, bam, right there. I got a yes. How many of you guys are ready to use us? By saying how many guys are ready to rock with the best, that's an implication of how many guys are ready to use us. How many are ready to switch? When they're all saying yes, I got that vote right then and there. Mm-hmm. Now I just got to show them why it needs to be us and to keep that decision in place. So by the time they leave, they're like, okay, we already know we like this guy better. We like their setups better. We heard them mix because I will actually mix, or if not, I have videos of what our guys do live.
Right.
Why not go with us? That's pretty much it. And that's also exactly how I take my weddings too. And the number one tip. This is really common sense, and it seems everybody fails at this.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm writing these down now.
It's 2 words.
Yes.
2 words. Okay. Don't.
Okay.
Suck. I don't understand it. Okay, let me go and break this down. I'm going to go on a rant here.
Okay, so first off, if you've got to break it down, why not just go ahead, man. You're on a roll. No. Take it.
Why are we having an argument about beat mixing? I love the video that Mike Walter released where he went on a tirade about this, where he's like, you know why people don't ask if you can beat mix or not? Because it's expected. You're a DJ, for crying out loud. You should know how to mix music. Yep. And yes, programming is important. It's more than just looking at the top 40 music. And that's the one mistake that I think a lot of people do. They look at top 40s and think they're not going to suck. No, dude, you're going to suck. Why? Because top 40 music sucks for dancing. Now, you have popular music like Trap Queen. Trap Queen is about, 4 minutes long? Nobody dances to that for 4 minutes long. It's usually the chorus, first chorus. By then, they fizzle out. Some of them are still vibing, but they're ready for the next one. You got to keep that energy level up. You could play all the top 40 stuff and still suck. Let's go back maybe 3-4 years ago when Rick Ross had all the Maybach music movement. Yeah, Maybach music was very popular on the radio. You jam out in your car. That's not something you dance to. Heck, even the really urban clubs here play maybe 1 or 2 songs, and that was it because it wasn't danceable. And the students are like, yeah, we don't get it. Mm-hmm. I mean, even the ones that like the music, it wasn't a danceable form. I'll use country music as an example. I'm in Florida. There's places where you walk in here, like, now.
Yep.
Because it's that out there in the country. And I had a school years ago where my first time working with them, I mean, we're talking country. I saw a cow on the way in, but it wasn't fenced in. It was just walking around in the street. Okay. And, these students are vibing, especially to a lot of the rap and EDM. And I went to use the restroom, and this guy comes up to me in a huge, giant buckle. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could have just put that as a radiator cover in my car. And, cowboy hat and everything else, strong southern accent. Hello, Mr. DJ. I'm like, hi. And you told me, he's like, just want to let you know you're really rocking it. Could I make a request? And I'm like, sure. I'm here trying to pee, but okay. And he's like, you're going to see a lot of us country folk here. Please don't play any country music. Maybe 1 or 2 slow songs. He goes, but the last DJ saw us, and he thinks we want country music. We do. We love country music. We like line dancing, but we can do that anytime. We're here for a homecoming club experience. And that's when it really hit me. It's like, just because it's really on the charts, especially in that area, doesn't mean it's what's going to be huge.
Sure.
And so that fast forward to the school meetings. The number one complaint I get at the same time is, well, the DJ played nothing but old stuff. You know what? I totally get that. And I tell the students, I'm like, let me ask you this. you know, and sometimes I'll even drop a mix right then and there. Like we'll do a new song, and all of a sudden, bam, we drop into Usher's "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, that's my jam." Yeah, that song came out in 2001. It's now 2015. That was 14 years ago. If that's not old, I don't know what is. Well, that's a really good song. Oh, okay. Then I'm mixing To Get Low. Oh, that's a great song too. Okay, well, that was 14 years ago. I'm like, oh, well, that's different. I'm like, okay. So then I go into This Is How We Do It. I'm like, do I really need to keep going? And I tell him, like, look, it's not the music. It's how the DJ mixes the music in, and if he picks stuff that you can dance to or not. And right then and there, I'll go into, you know, one of the – nowadays, we could go into one of the slower – you know, again, at that point, I would use like a Rick Ross one. What was it? He's Blowing Money Fast, BMF, where he's like, oh, I think I'm Big Beach. Hallelujah. That song was terrible. People got excited to it for about the chorus and one verse and then fizzled out. But the students are like, oh, you killed the vibe. That's the point, and that's a top 40 song. So I'm not saying don't pay attention to the top 40, but every region has their own different top 40. Yeah. And you have to have a good balance between a lot of this, you know, especially Young Money, Cash Money, and, oh, my God, if I hear Young Thug one more time. But they are popular. People do vibe out and what we call get turned up to them. But they're not really dancing. It's more of like jumping or whatever. So you got to have a nice balance between the jumping music, the vibing music, and, of course, actual dance music. Yeah. If you don't have that balance, you're going to suck. Most importantly, if you're not on the microphone emceeing, and so help me God, if I hear one more corny, put your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care. I've done that once or twice at Homecomings in the middle of an old school set. But if you don't know what to say on the mic, for the love of God, don't say anything at all. But then you're going to have administration telling the other DJ, well, the other guy didn't get on the microphone that much. Yep. And when he got on the microphone, he was overbearing or he got on the mic too much. You got to find that right balance. And I'm not going to pick on age here, but at some point, I'm going to be 40 or 50, and I'm still going to want to do school dances. I'm not going to be the front man for that. This isn't Aerosmith, you know, where you can be Steven Tyler with your jaw falling off and you can still rock out a venue. This doesn't work like that. This is a very limited experience. So if you are an older DJ, that's fine. You know, I'm going to give props to my man Johnny D, you know, up north. You know who Johnny D is, right? Yep. Okay, Ambassador Entertainment. Johnny D has reached an age, obviously, where, you know, he's not going to appeal to general crowd. So he has his son. He has a different staff that's the front man, but he's still running the day-to-day operation. He's still out there rocking school dances. He's doing things that I still look at. I'm like, good Lord. The fact that anybody's doing some of the stuff that he does, it's incredible. Yeah. So if you're not comfortable emceeing to that crowd, because the nice thing about students versus weddings is you will know right then and there if you were good or not, because they will tell you, dude, you sucked ass. They'll tell you right to your face. They'll tell you over Twitter. Yep. And you're also going to deal with Twitter trolls too. So you got to kind of, you know, if you have like 100 students telling you how amazing you were and you have one student say, well, the DJ sucked. Well, you know, it's screw you, you know. Yep. But it is one of those, they are very honest about it. So if you're not comfortable dealing with that kind of, you know, that kind of crowd, especially on the mic, then you get somebody, you get it, go hire a teenager that's very good on the microphone and then start training them to do more than just MC, start training them to be a DJ. And now you have somebody, and that's how you start bringing people in. So let's summarize the 5 main tips.
Oh, you've already covered 15.
Yeah. If you're just starting now, it's too late, but it's not.
Yep.
You're appealing to the students either directly or by proxy.
Yep.
If the students, it's the students' money, but the admin still signs the check. It's a big rig contest, and don't suck.
That's our 5. Ladies and gentlemen.
Like, don't suck. Just...
Yeah, we'll have that kind of come across. The kitty cat will come out there and spray paint it on. It'll be great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not checked out Arnoldo's, first off, let's talk about the YouTube channel. Arnoldo, give us, what's your YouTube channel out there?
So my YouTube channel is DJ
We'll put the link
Craziest.
right here. Yep.
Just right there. DJ Craziest, and that's with an I, not a Y, because I'm a rebel like that. YOLO swag. So, yeah, just DJ Craziest, and I've expanded to doing definitely a lot more than just school dances. You know, I just talk about general tips and tricks, whether you're doing production, wedding, whatever the case may be, the occasional cat video, but definitely subscribe. You know, if you guys can't stand me, which is perfectly fine, subscribe, just do thumbs down. I don't care. Just watch the ads. Yeah,
that's the most important part. Watch the ads.
Yeah, watch the ads.
Or you could be that person, that little troll that is subscribed, so you can see when everything's released. And as soon as it's released, you can thumbs down. No matter, you don't even know, just thumbs down. Watch the ads, thumbs down. And you can be that person.
Yeah, you know, I could do a video, and there's always one. I think with every YouTube channel, there's always one person. You could do a video saying, check this out. I just saved this puppy. He was dying. I gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. After that, I pulled a bunch of orphans from a fire. You know, Thank you. And then somebody's going to thumbs down. Oh, well, you should have pulled the orphans and their crayons out of the fire. Thanks for that.
I'm a crayon lover. So that's the channel. Now, Master School Dances. If people want to check out more information about that, because you do some coaching with that, you've got some training with that, tell us a little bit about that.
So, Master School Dances, basically it's 5 videos. You have marketing and selling. You have performance, the day of, dealing with venues, giving a rider to a venue and a school and actually having them sign. And I know at first people are like, wait, what? So that's one of the important things. One that's called Tech Specs, and it's more than just how to set up a light show. It talks about a little bit of programming, the music mixing, just the overall technical part of the show and how to sell that. Most importantly, how to make money with it. Photography for DJs, and I don't care if you're there. I don't need to know how to take photos. Yes, you do, because people really suck at giving us photos. I don't care if you're doing weddings, schools. Photographers in general are bad at giving us photos. There's a whole million reasons for them. I don't fault the photographers for it, but I'd rather have my own camera. That being said, my marketing, 90% of it comes from photos and videos. So there's a video that talks about that. And then there's WordPress for DJs, which WordPress keeps updating every time I try to update the video. So I'm going to have a new surprise seminar that's going to come out in place of that. But anybody who bought the original videos gets the upgrade, or get the upgrades for free.
Nice.
So there's people that bought my videos when they first were just webinars that got the full polished video for free. If you buy each video individually, it's like $360. So we got a bundle deal where it's like $299. Right now, for a certain amount of time, don't know how long that's going to be, they're only $199. So you save quite a bit of money. Each video is about 2 to 3 hours. We're talking over, I think I've sold over 500 different sets. So that's 500 DJs, and nobody's come up to me, but no complaints about it so far. So you can check on the website, masterschooldances.com, and you'll see all the different reviews, samples of videos. There's also Master School Dances, the group on Facebook. And, any questions you have, also hit me up, especially on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that sounds great. We'll put the link for the Master School Dances down in the description below, gang, so you can go there. We'll also have the link to Arnoldo's YouTube channel down there. We'll have links to, the puppies and the kitties and the saving of the orphans. It's all in.
And the crayons.
And the crayons. Because we love crayons, too. We want to make sure we know that. Crayola. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time of watching one of our videos. We also ask you to go down and subscribe to the Disc Jockey News channel. We'll put that, let's put that link right here, too. We'll put it right here. Click that subscribe, because we do a lot of videos, a lot of great videos with people like Arnoldo. He's in I think we've already done 6 or more videos here just in the last couple of months. And you don't want to miss those. So click subscribe. If this is your first time and you like it, the thumbs up button down below, that's another cool thing. That's down below. And if you think that hat is really cool, you could, now I'm having Christmas in September. But tell us what you think, gang. These were 5 tips that Arnoldo, I asked him to put these together for you, and there's a lot more than 5 in here. But tell us if there's something that you'd use with your school dances. Go down to the comments section and give us some feedback on that, because there's things that you guys in your markets do that we don't do in our market in Minnesota, Arnoldo's market in Florida, and we'd like to learn from you. So go down there and share, because we'd love to converse with you on those different ideas, because there's a lot of great information and a lot of really smart people out there doing high school dances each and every week.
Absolutely.
Arnoldo, thank you very much for being on tonight, and I look forward to get some more stuff scheduled to be doing here this fall, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on, not only with you, but with our ADJ lighting friends. We got some neat stuff.
Absolutely.
That's great. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Have yourself a great evening. Good night.
Good night.